I was too young when my mother died to really get to know her, but from what my father said, she was a smart, determined woman that carried her own sense of elegancy wherever she went. Although she wasn't in my life for very long, she had a major impact on me and my piece of literature, Frankenstein.
Mary Wollstonecraft's feminist views indeed did affect her daughter, Mary Shelley. Wollstonecraft always had a belief that women could be equal to men if they had the proper education, but a major influence for her ideas came from her father, who would sometimes beat her mother in a drunken rage. Mary was very protective of her mother and would lie outside of her mother's door to protect her.
My mother wrote The Vindication of the Rights of Women in 1792. She wed my father, William Godwin, in 1797. Both of them weren't fond of the idea of marriage, but she was pregnant with me. 10 days later, after I was born, she died of puerperal fever.
My uterus, it burns. Take care of my dear Mary. She's dead.
I had to grow up without a mother. And that was hard because I was exposed to other mother-daughter relationships throughout the years.
You're the best mumsy ever. Thank you for buying me this lollipop.
Oh, you're welcome. I love you, Lucy.
I love you too, Mom.
My father was a kind soul who persuaded me to develop my writing skills. He was a writer himself and was one of the first utilitarianists.
His first 2 books were called An Inquiry Concerning Political Justice and Things That They Are. William Godwin raised Mary as a single father.
I had a happy childhood, even if it was motherless, except that my father remarried in 1801 to Mary Jane Claremont. She was quick-tempered and quarrelsome and always favored her children over me. Although I was well-educated for a girl in my time, and it became clear that I was a strong writer, just like my mother and father. I met my future husband, Percy Shelley, and we began to meet secretly at my mother's grave, and that's where I declared my love for him. My father didn't approve of the marriage, so we ran away. We were penniless, unmarried, and I was pregnant with my first child.
On February 22nd, 1815, Mary gave birth to a baby girl, but she did not survive, just as expected. After the death of her child, Mary became depressed, and she was haunted by visions of her baby until she became pregnant again. On January 24th, 1816, Mary gave birth to her second child, William.
The summer of 1816 comes back to me clearly now. It was a wonderful summer as I stayed with my husband, my son, and Claire Claremont. The idea of Frankenstein came to me in a dream.
Mary Shelley describes her dream like this. I saw the pale student of unhallowed arts kneeling beside the thing that he put together. I saw the hideous phantasm of a man, stretched out, and then on the working of some powerful engine show signs of life, and stir with an uneasy half-vital motion. Frightful it must be, for supremely frightful would be the effect of any human endeavor to mock the superstitious mechanism of the world.
I began writing this, thinking it was only going to be a short story, but Percy encouraged me to make an entire novel. The story Frankenstein was published in 1818, and this was wonderful news, but my stroke of bad luck wasn't over yet. My poor baby William died in 1819. People have many hardships in their lives, and my life was no exception. But I realized that these tragedies helped me become a better writer. It helps me relate to my stories as I'm writing.